Hi, my name is Max Mandias. I'm the co-founder and the R&D director of Green Rebel Foods. Green Rebel Foods is pioneer of plant-based protein brand from Indonesia. Our mission is to democratize plant-based foods in Asia and beyond, and to nourish people, to save animals, and to protect Mother Earth one tasty meal at a time.
Hi Max, good to see you again.
Hi Sanda, nice to meet you. Glad to be here.
And thank you for having us in this beautiful shop of yours.
Yes, absolutely. And Robbie joining also on the TV.
Hi Robbie.
Hi Max, how are you and how are you doing?
All good, buddy. Thank you for joining from Perth.
Thanks for having me. Great to have you on the show.
So let's get started.
Pleasure.
Max, growing up, I'm used to eating tempe, tofu, bakwan jagung, you name it. But this was long before it was cool to eat plant-based foods.
Yes.
Now, but you've taken plant-based foods to the next level. Tell us the story.
So I think for me, it all started in 2012. I think everyone has a turning point, right? So I think for the first 25, 26 years of my life, I was pretty much eating the normal thing, like I'm a junk food junkie, So I love my processed food. I love my bread, muffins, donuts and all that. I love my meat. I love my milk, cheese, you name it, everything that is supposed to be normal, right? I think the wake-up call for me was that, like, at that period, 2012, I had a combination of physical and emotional health issues. And then it was more intense than before, and that year, because it was also combined with some very heavy depressive symptoms. I just woke up one day, I felt like I was on a really wrong course, when it comes to health, and I want to change it. How can I get better in a most natural way? So obviously, diet was one of the things that I look at. So I started cooking, and then I started volunteering in a raw food restaurant in Amsterdam. Back then I was still living in the Netherlands. And I guess there was a turning point for me, because during that volunteer experience, it was a place where I actually met a lot of people who are chronically ill. Like, these are people who were sentenced by their doctors, like, you will take these drugs for the rest of your lives, you will not have like a very long years like after this, things like that, The common theme was they changed their diet, to a plant-based diet, and they healed themselves. So for me, there was a turning point. It was very inspiring. I felt like a strong calling, actually, to explore this area more. Yeah, so I decided to go back to Indonesia, my country, to open up my first plant-based business, and then so the mission was very simple. Like, I know that people wants to eat healthy, but people are not eating vegetables and fruits, and they don't like it. Like, how can I make people eat more vegetables in the most subtle way, most enjoyable way?
So Max, before Green Rebel, there was Burgreens, which all hip Jakartans know and crave. Tell us your journey developing these two businesses.
Burgreens was founded in 2013. So this was straight from, fresh from the Netherlands. And then, we opened the first shop, and it grew pretty organically. Our motto was very simple in the beginning. It was taste naughty, yet healthy. Our concept now is a plant-based food adventure. So we actually, through Burgreens, we want to prove to people that the new age of plant-based food is far from boring and bland. That it can be as exciting, full of flavors, with a wide range of menus, just like the normal food, right? But then pandemic happens, right? Pandemic happens, and pandemic was a huge thing for us. It was a scary moment, I would say, right? For all the restaurants, of course, our cash reserve was low, so we needed to come up with like a quick solution. We needed to pivot as fast as possible. We decided internally, like, okay, why don't we just like pack our best sellers in the restaurants into a frozen food format? That's the idea. And then sell it through online commerce, we sell it through Burgreens, and then boom, like 6 months later, Green Rebel Foods was born. You know, we raised money, we raised our seed round, we raised our pre-A round, and we split the companies, Burgreens and Green Rebel Foods.
I see. And you talked about being local, being authentic, and keeping the local flavors and all. How are you working with local suppliers to make sure that you have the right supply chain for your production?
So we mostly source locally, but also regionally. And I think there is a great advantage to having like such a closer supply chain. Yeah, for instance, like we use a lot of obviously mushrooms, herbs, spices, coconut oil, seaweed, are all sourced nationally. And it's good quality, you see. And non-GMO soy, some tapioca starches we source regionally. Like I said, it has been going quite well so far. So prices are stable, also it's like the quantity is also quite reliable.
So Max, you've exported now to Singapore, Malaysia, the Philippines and Korea, and you're now looking at the Australian market. In fact, you participated at Fine Foods Australia last year. What's your impression of the plant-based foods industry in Australia?
Oh, I think in Australia, the market is ready, Robbie. I mean, we don't need market education anymore. Everyone knows. It seems like everyone knows, right? Or like at least the majority of the people know about the importance of a plant-based diet, or whether it's through health or like whether it's through the planetary perspectives and all that. So it is definitely an interesting market, and also what we see is also Australian is in general well-traveled. They have traveled throughout Asia, they kind of like have an appreciation of Asian food as well. And so I guess this is like an important demographics for us, right?
Max, terima kasih for being on the show. We really appreciate it. Semoga success with your journey, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you so much, Max. All the best.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.